Доброе утро.
While strolling through the park one day, all in the merry month of May, I was taken by surprise by a pair of roguish eyes. In a moment my poor heart was stole away. While strolling through the park one day, all in the merry month of May, I was as happy as can be.
I saw this in a movie once.
I ask you, is not an alien force already among us?
I know what happened to me. It happened in 1974.
Human species has looked to the skies in amazement at unidentified objects. We are staring at unconventional possibilities supported by witnesses, video, and most recently, our own government.
Oh my gosh. There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA.
Looks like people are snatched off the ground, and then some of them are dropped back miles and miles away.
With due respect to the Air Force, I believe that some of them will prove to be of interplanetary origin.
It was not extraterrestrial, it was extratemporal. Time travelers.
The more that we actually learn about the world we're in, the greater the mysteries.
We knew that this person was a hybrid.
They threatened the civilian population, and there were a lot of them, with death. They said, if you talk about this, we're not only going to kill you, we're going to kill your whole family.
We'd look away, and the ship would light up, and the next thing is just, boom, it's gone.
Men and women have been taken for purposes of reproduction and hybridization.
Of a huge carving in the desert over 1,000 feet across.
No tire tracks and no footprints.
Physical contact and proof from another system, another planet, another intelligence.
Embryo is created, and that little hybrid
I have no motivation to lie.
I ask you, is not an alien force already among us?
Sorry guys, not all ETs are good.
Ta-ta.
Inside this tomb was a lid on this sarcophagus for Lord Pakal. And that lid is very highly decorated with a picture of Lord Pakal. And in that picture, he's doing some really unusual things.
Explain yourself.
He has his nose on some kind of oxygen mask. He uses his upper hand to manipulate the knot. You see his lower hand, he manipulates some controls. He's sitting on a kind of chair in a sort of capsule.
When Eric looked at that lid, he saw a Mayan king in a rocket ship. And that guy was returning to the stars, going back into space. It was an exciting interpretation.
Explain yourself.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Was Lord Pakal really an extraterrestrial who visited Earth in the distant past?
And then I learned again, they are talking of visitors from outside. Of course, they call them gods.
According to the ancient Maya myths, their main deity was Quetzalcoatl or Kukulkan, Kukumats, all those different names for the exact same deity, which was described to be a winged or a flying serpent or a flying snake.
As I've told you, and in this case, I've shown you hundreds of times, not all clouds are the same. There are weird looking clouds, of course, but those I don't show you. I only show you the clouds that are not clouds, that are ships cloaked or camouflaged, or whatever term you prefer. And I've shown you mostly, not only, but mostly above Nest 3, near Bolzano, Italy, one of the Carisso's nests.
That they saw up in the sky could best be described as a flying snake.
dragon, do you?
You're a dragon. Be a dragon.
And I will take what is mine. With fire and blood, I will take it.
Your reign is over.
I was born to rule the Seven Kingdoms. And I will.
Dracarys. My reign has just begun.
Kill it with fire!
We have won the Great War. Now we will win the last war.
Be a dragon.
Phantom pin. Homes and beds.
Burn them all.
And I've shown you a lot. All kinds. Over the last 14 years. Hundreds of times. Not dozens. Some do look like snakes, serpents, flying dragons. And I already told you about dragons. But today I'm not here to talk about dragons. I talk about things in the sky that look like dragons or look like serpents, but they're not. It's just cloaked ships that look like serpents or dragons.
Or Kukulkan, Kukumats, all those different names for the exact same deity, which was described to be a winged or a flying serpent or a flying snake.
The old people from thousands of years ago until recently this year, they've seen these serpents, these dragons with scales, but they're not dragons or snakes. There's no scales. It's just the way the ships are made. There's all kinds of ships. Some are in one block, some are in small blocks. Those small blocks, to the old people, the ancient people, look like snakes, you know. And but they were not. But that's what they called them. They didn't know better. Allow me to show you some couple of things that I've shown you before, and then we'll come back. Okay?
Like I said, Z,
you didn't know the half of it.
You know what? I was just thinking. I've shown you all these things before, especially above Nest 3, about the clouds, the cloaking, all these things. So why spend time doing it all over again? Sooner or later, I will republish all those old videos. Sooner or later. Then you can go there and watch them. Sooner or later, we will republish hundreds of videos. Then they'll be there. So, let's jump into the Alien Races book, 2nd edition, episode 1, because that's what you're here for, mostly, or at least recently. Let's go. But first, there's a little introduction, because there's many new subscribers. So we have to do a refresh the memory for some, and to others, tell them what this is all about. Okay? Cheers. Hello. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Dante Santori, one of my many names. If you don't know my name, Google it and you'll find all kinds of interesting things. Even though I have many jobs, one of the things I'm most famous for is when 14 years ago I and others published the Alien Races book. Google that too and you'll find all kinds of interesting things. This was 14 years ago when we, the Caristas, introduced to you and everybody else dozens upon dozens of new alien races that the world did not know about. Until then, the internet, when it comes to aliens, only showed a few, the usual suspects, you know, tall greys, small greys, that kind of stuff. Reptilians, not a lot more. It was like a 10, 12. That was the internet when it came to aliens. 12, 14 years ago. Then we introduced dozens. Maybe you were not around, you were not paying attention at the time, you're too young, because it was 14 years ago. But at the time, the internet, when it comes to alien information, changed completely. 14 years ago, there was a handful of channels on YouTube talking about aliens, and it was just repeat the same thing. There was nothing new, because they didn't know. But we know. And so, we introduced them. Changed everything. YouTube, when it comes to alien races, was never the same. Even the world was never the same. After we published that information, even former ministers of defense of certain countries came out, and suddenly they were talking about all kinds of different alien races and that there were many alien races. That's because of the information we shared.
I'm Sophie Shevardnadze. Paul Hellyer served as the Canadian Minister of Defense in the 1960s, shaping the country's armed forces for years to come. It was only in his retirement that he says he made a life-changing discovery. He became the first cabinet-level politician from a G8 country to publicly state that there is extraterrestrial life present on Earth. Is this an elaborate fantasy? Are aliens science fiction? Or is there something to claims of their existence? The Honorable Paul Hellyer, former Minister of Defense of Canada, and he believes that life forms from space exist and are present on Earth. It's great to have you with us on our show. Why do you say that UFOs are as real as the airplanes flying over our heads?
Well, because I know that they are. They've been, as a matter of fact, they've been visiting our planet for thousands of years.
But you also tell me that people write you emails, 3 to 5 emails a week, and they've actually been abducted or they have encounters with the aliens. Do they actually tell you what these aliens look like? I mean, you know, everyone's interested. How would I know if I see an alien and if he abducts me?
Well, you have the first question you have to ask is how many species are there? And I used to think there were, you know, between 2 and 12. And Apollo astronaut Edgar Mitchell, who came to Toronto a few years ago and had dinner with us, agreed there was somewhere between 2 and 12. But the latest reports that I've been getting from various sources are that there are about 80 different species. And some of them look just like us, and they could walk down the street and you wouldn't know if you ran, you know, walked past one.
From the dawn of time we came, moving silently down through the centuries, living many secret lives, struggling to reach the time of the gathering, when the few who remain will battle to the last. No one has ever known we were among you, until now.
I am immortal.
Here we are, born to be kings. We're the princes of the universe. Here we belong, fighting to survive in a war with the darkest power.
Before, they would not talk about these things. Even if they knew, they would not talk. But we did, and that changed. You're not aware, probably, how our information with the Alien Races book changed everything about the way people see alien races, how many, how the way they interact with humans and amongst each other, the wars amongst them, and everything else. It changed everything. At that time, when the Alien Races book came out, a few months later, like 8 months later, I was living in Canada at the time. I was being invited by every TV station in Canada and America and Germany, you know, the big ones, CNNs and all those big ones. And I did not give any interviews on TV. I gave one interview to one radio station, and that's it. Because like I told you, I don't want 72 million. I want 72 true followers of the Carícios, willing to fulfill their missions and their destiny.
Perhaps it is the sign of the times that many of us feel so disconnected from our elected leaders, as new technology seems to be advancing the human race faster than we can keep up. The mainstream media appears to be lagging behind. Today's so-called revelations may really be old news. Questions plague our souls. Why does up now appear down? And why is what was once right condemned by so many? The three hosts of this show certainly do not have all the answers, but they do have questions. Questions that you, your family, and your friends may be asking every day. Welcome to What in the World is Going On? Hi, I'm Ed Galloway. On this edition of What in the World is Going On, we will interview Dante Santori. Now, Dante has an amazing story to tell that began in the year 2004 when he met a Ukrainian named Petro. After a few beers, a friendship began that would lead to the discovery of a book called Introduction to the Alien Races. Yeah. The book was hidden in Petro's father's house and was found quite by accident. Now, there's some gaps in this story which we have intentionally left out because we want Dante to tell the story in his own words. We hope you'll find Dante's story as fascinating as we have. And remember, Dante has not made a penny off his startling discovery. On the contrary, he is simply sharing the information with you. So stay close to your computer and click on Dante's YouTube channel to follow along with the Introduction to the Alien Races book. Dante, thanks for being with us today. Listen, you've got an incredible story to tell. You found a book called The Introduction to the Alien Races book, but before we get there, tell us a little bit about yourself, okay?
Okay. We published the Alien Races book on a PDF file. It's been seen by billions of people and used by people who want to take credit. And used by people who want to take credit. But it was us, and many of you know it was us. I'm not saying just me, us. It was us, and you know that very well. And we published a video showing the Alien Races book. This was 14 years ago. Within 6 months, that video had over 1 million views, which was a lot at the time. 14 years ago, for a video to have 1 million views, especially about aliens, was huge. It was the biggest, the video with more views when it comes to aliens. And so we deleted that channel. That was our second channel, because we are looking for 72 people. That's all. Not 72,000, not 72 million. The cause is a huge institution. But the base, or big part of the base, are the 72s, because they are the ones creating events that keep the cause going. If the 72s do not finish their missions, they don't create events, the cause comes to a standstill. The groups of 72s, which are 72 people, which are chosen by me, and then do their missions, they cause events, some immediate events, others events that will have their consequences, good ones, hopefully, dozens of years ahead. So every 72 is like a diamond for me, a big diamond, a treasure. Some 72s do not realize how important they are, but eventually they do. If not in this life, on the next. Because sometimes 72s cause events in this life, because events which leads to events on their next life. But that's very complex, and this is not where I'm here today. Anyway, and then since the Alien Races book, even the channel before, because like I said, the Alien Races book first edition was on our second channel. We published, I think we have another 14 channels. When our channels start getting around 6,000 subscribers, we delete those channels. The second channel was when we deleted, had 35,000 subscribers, which at the time was huge, and getting about 200 new subscribers per day. So we deleted. We don't want our channels to get too big, because like I said, we're looking for 72 people, not 72 million or 72,000. So now we have this channel, and we have decided to present to you the Alien Races book, second edition, which will show you a lot more alien races which you don't know, you never heard about them. So now you know why I'm here talking to you. But we've done many other things throughout these 14 years. Important things, very important things. The series Alien Humankind, The Experience, The Experiment, which was dozens of episodes. Even more important probably was the 48 Weeks with Orchid Steel. We showed you, so dozens of episodes. Everything that happened during, the last few weeks, also called Jesus, before and after the crucifixion. Those are very important. And many others. Over the past 14 years, we published over 12,000 videos. If you've been around for a few years, you know that. If you've been around for a few years, you know that. If not, you know now. But Today, we're going to start publishing the second edition of the Alien Races book, and we will not publish this on PDF file like a book, like we did with the first one, because obvious reasons. A lot of people, download it, and then they were selling it on Apple. Apple itself, the company, the huge company, Apple, did it and got money for it. Amazon was selling it as if it was like from a unknown author, and they were selling it on Amazon. Some places was like $9.99, and other areas was like $20. And many other people, just private people, download it, then change the cover, and then took off my name, changed things, and erased my email address and all that stuff. Doesn't matter. That's not the point. The point was at the time to give to you a broader knowledge of what is going on Earth amongst alien races and humans and hybrids, and how and why and everything else and where. The job was done with a lot of success. It brought me a lot of headaches, and it caused me to lose privacy, completely privacy. And that I did not enjoy, but it was my mission to do that. Even though I lost my privacy, everybody likes their privacy. I don't have it. That's gone. After the Alien Races book was published, gone. And then, as more videos and information were shared, the less privacy I had, with, the obvious consequences, which is people who decided to start attacking me or the cause or everything. So, but it doesn't matter what people think about me, good or bad, for that matter. What matters is the information and the results, and how it changes people's lives, and in the end, the world, because it will. I am also the person who 10 years ago started warning you about the 2017-2022 period. Made videos, many videos about that. 12 years ago, not 10, 12 years ago, how the period 2017-2022 would change everything. And these periods of 5 years, sometimes it's 6, 4, 8, but usually it's around 5 years. And I was warning people, and the people that have been here for a while, they know that. I said the world will change completely, upside down. It will not be the same. So, and what have we seen during this 2017-2022 period that we're living right now? COVID, for example. COVID, that changed the world, took away liberties and freedoms, and I don't want to talk about it, but you know better than me, or at least as good as me, what the so-called COVID pandemic did to the world, to the people. Now we have a war in Ukraine. Everything that's involved, which is the whole world, is involved in this war. These are just two things. Among others, there are others, but people are not paying attention. And I'll talk about it another time. COVID changed the world completely. Our world's upside down. I don't need to explain to you. Now you have this war. in Ukraine. Just those two things, huge things, changing the world, are changing the world. Happened exactly during the 2017-2022 period that I warned you about. Remember? So, this was just an introduction to this channel, more information to the Carichos and to myself. Now, today, we'll start the Alien Races book, 2nd edition. We'll start with this first race. Enjoy.
Welcome back, Commander.
Give me some time to think. I'm in the bathroom looking at me. Facing the mirror is all I need. Wait until the Reaper takes my life. Never gonna get me out alive. I will live 1,000 million lives. My patience is waning. Is this entertaining? Our patience is waning. Is this entertaining? Was right. my mind, turning the pages of my life, walking the path so many paced 1,000,000 times. Drown out the voices in the air, leaving the ones that never cared, picking the pieces up and building to the sky. My patience is waning, is this entertaining? My patience is waning.